I want to thank you for being here tonight. I'll try and make this as quick and painless as possible. Okay, all the information that I give to you tonight can be found on my website, and you can use this, mrmedbrey.com, to get there quickly. Okay, a little about myself. I do have some education, and I do have some teaching experience. Here's a brief overview of Common Core, and this is not a defense or a critique. Obviously, we have a new global economy, and if we look at students' grades K through 12 in different countries, here we are in the United States, over in China, and over in India. Basically, for every one 7th grade student here in the United States, there are 4 in India and 4 in China. If we look at test scores of different subjects such as reading, math, and science, this is how United States scores compared to them, other countries. If you notice, right here we are at math. That's pretty sad. So some researchers looked around the world at different high-performing countries. They went through and looked at all the classrooms, see how they taught. They talked to other educators and researchers, got all together, and they came up with the Common Core standards. In America, 45 states have adopted the Common Core standards. Okay, Common Core is basically standards. It's standards that describe what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. So for example, here's a standard right here. Solve real-world and mathematical problems involving yada yada yada. Okay, that's what they should be able to do. Now curriculum is different. Now curriculum, we're talking about textbooks or teaching methods used to teach a skill. And the thing is, it's up to individual states, districts, or schools to decide which curriculum they're going to use, which book, how they're going to teach. Now, here's an older problem, and it's relatively simple. Just one calculation is what's necessary. But over here, this is what they have now on the Common Core state testing. It's much more complex. Okay, when investigating the Common Core, in high-performing countries, they found that students follow these mathematical practices. And that's what we're trying to instill in our students. Here's a couple of them. Make sense of problems and persevere in problem solving. Don't give up. Model with mathematics. Attend in precision. Be accurate. Okay, here's a problem that just involves a quick procedure, just subtraction. Now some people will say, hey, wait a minute, there's a different way of doing this, and it's right over here. And what's odd about this is you're looking at this trying to figure out what is going on exactly. What's happening here? Well, what they're doing is they're taking the number 12 and they're counting, see how far they have to count up to 32. Turns out you have to count up 20 to get to 32. And notice what they do. They went ahead, start off with the 12, add 3, you get 15. Now from the 15, add 5, get 20. From 20, you add 10, get 30. From 30, add 2, get 32. And then you take all the stuff that you added, you add that up, and it gives you 20. This is nonsense. All right? That just gives people headaches. This is not Common Core. That's just some curriculum, some problem that somebody made up just to make things very complicated. It's not going to help students learn at all. Instead, taking a look up here, this is your standard procedure to solving division with fractions. So you have 4 divided by 1/3. Notice you keep this 4, sometimes we say freeze, you change this to times, and you flip this over. And then you can multiply and get your answer. Okay, well that's great if it's real simple and you can remember the formula. However, wouldn't it be better to know the concept? You have 4 items, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you divide those, each one, into thirds. So you divide each item into thirds. How many items do you have now? And if you count it up, you have 12. Okay, here's an example of a problem we have done in class. As we have a negative, a positive, and a negative. So we model it like this, and it helps students to realize they just add these up and then subtract 5. The answer should be a negative number. Okay, it may look complicated right now, but it's not rocket science. Everyone can be successful as long as they try. Okay, our district has created what's called a math course pathways, talking about what classes to take and when. Now, looking at first glance, this is rocket science at first glance. But if you go to my website, I'll explain more about that to you. Well, we have some workbooks that we are now piloting. Okay, Math 7, there are 6 units for the entire year. Notice that accelerated math, there are 10 units for the entire year. They're basically doing a year and a half of work in 1 year. These are the different math categories that students will be graded on. You can find out more about grading on my website. I would like to talk to you about math practices, though, right now. Okay, here are the 8 math practices. And I'll be grading students based on 3 of them. Communication, are they explaining things on their paper? Accuracy, are they correcting their mistakes? And perseverance, are they continuing to try different strategies even when they're challenged? And the acronym for that is CAP. Now it goes something like this. There's 1 point for each day. However, to get 100%, there's a homework assignment, 1 homework assignment a week, and it's called an extension assignment. And it goes something like this. For a 5-day week, you need 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, wait, there's only 5. To get the extra point, you need to do the extension assignment. And that would give you 100% for the week. So that's how it's done. You can learn more about this on my website, but that's it in a nutshell. And remember, everyone can be successful if they apply effort. They have to try. Oh, time's running out. So remember, you can find things on my website if you have any information or need some information. And I want to thank you for staying awake.